Hello, mate. How are you?
How are you? Like,
Good, mate. Thanks. So, I'll just start letting them all in, and then
yeah,
we'll
no worries.
get cracked into it. Is that a little Alice band you've got on there?
Oh yeah, it's shocking blooming lockdown trim in it. It's gone way too long. If I take it out, it's like frigging afro.
Looking good, mate. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Everybody been having a good week?
Hi. Hi.
Okay, very good. We'll get cracked straight into it then. So tonight we're joined by a very special guest, Jack Walton from Barnsley FC. Okay, so we'll do as usual. We'll let Jack talk. I'll ask him plenty of questions, and then we'll just finish off the last little bit. So hopefully you've all got plenty of questions for him, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so good evening, Jack. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Very good, mate. Okay, so the idea of these Zooms is just to try and give the goalkeepers as much information as we can about yourself, about how you got into goalkeeping. Okay, and any tips and any advice that you can give them along the way is a big help. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give as much help as possible.
Good. So my relationship with Jack, I was lucky enough to coach Jack for a couple of weeks, a couple of pre-seasons ago, when Barnsley Academy was in between the goalkeeper coaches. I was coaching the Shadow Scholars at the time, and I was asked to go in and work with the keepers at pre-season. So I think it was about 4 to 5 weeks, Jack, weren't it?
Yeah, I'd just been injured, and the first team went on pre-season to France, and I wasn't fit to make it, so I stayed behind. So there wasn't really the first team keeper coach had obviously gone with the team, so I was with the young lads, the 18s and the 23s, just to get some training, and obviously you were taking the sessions.
Yes, I mean, one of the things that I noticed straight away was the tempo of what you trained at, and I could see straight away that you was prepared to work very hard, which was good to work with. You certainly tested my fitness, trying to keep up with you, trying to serve, which was good, which was a challenge for me as well. And I think at the time as well, you was a little bit frustrated that that you weren't getting involved with the first team. And what I liked about that is that you didn't see, even though you was frustrated, you used it to spur you on and work hard. And for me, I think that's what's got you into the position that you've been lucky enough to be in this season.
Yeah, I think not just in football, but in everything. Every day, everything you do, it's for yourself. You don't do anything for anybody else. So you've got to think each day when you get up in the morning, how can I improve? How can I be better? That might be when you go to school. It might be the work. The thing is, you don't do it for your teachers. You do it for yourself, because you become better. So obviously it was a bit of a tough time for myself. I wasn't really getting in the team, but the only way to get better was to work really hard and train really hard. And every session gave me an opportunity to improve and work hard, whether that's fitness or my technique or anything. So yeah, I go into every session or anything I do in life thinking, how can I do this to improve myself?
Very good. So let's start from day one then. When did you first get into goalkeeping?
It's quite funny. I started as a centre back. I used to play for when I was like 6, when I used to play centre back. I then got scouted for Bury when I was 8 as a centre back. Played 3 years centre back, and it was a bit of luck really how I got into goalkeeping. My dad used to play for Bury on a Sunday, and my dad's team on a Saturday didn't have a goalkeeper. I just love football, so I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go and goal." I just fell in love with it. So yeah, I did a bit of training on the only day off I had, and played on a Saturday for a local team. So yeah, I just loved it really. And then I had a quite a bad injury when I was 13.
Yeah.
And so I missed a year of football, and then I just played locally until I was 14, and then I got scouted by Walton.
So do you think that early period of you being a centre back, then playing with your feet? I mean, obviously there's a massive thing now with goalkeepers having to be better with their feet, and we see it all the time, even at the top level, that keepers are falling short. Do you think that's what's got your feet that what they are now?
Yeah, I think the main thing I got from it was just reading the game. Just obviously, you'll all know goalkeeping's decision making, balls over the tops, and do you come, do you not? So I think as a centre back, you can kind of read it a bit better and kind of see what's coming before it happens.
Very good. Yes. So learning from different positions then, as well. That's helped you as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, obviously you've got to get a good relationship with your centre back. So because I used to play there, I know kind of how it is and how the things that they find difficult. So I try and like help them out now and like speak a lot in games and stuff to try and help them.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So from grassroots then, did you sign at Walton?
Yeah, I signed when I was 14.
And was that in their academy?
Yeah. So yeah, bit of a whirlwind. It went from like obviously playing my local league to then I think the first game was against Celtic, and then went to a tournament and played Chelsea, Arsenal. I was thinking, wow, like it was a bit crazy really, but yeah, it was a good experience. I found it probably I was a bit overwhelmed really. It took me back a bit because obviously I probably thought, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Because a lot of the players and the keepers that have been there have been in the academy since they were like 8 and 9. So I was still a bit raw. Still had a lot to learn. But I did well in my first 6 months, and I got invited down to England when I was 15. So, but I knew I had a lot to learn.
I mean, so that's good, really, a good little one for the younger keepers as well, who are aiming to be at that level, and who are 12, 13 and thinking they've maybe missed a chance already. It shows that you can get your chances later on, and you can get picked up at any time, really.
Yeah, I think there's a big debate that goes on, and sometimes going into academies really early sometimes has a negative effect. Like, I think you've got to enjoy football when you're young. Like it gets serious when you're a bit older and stuff like that. But the best way of improving and I think is enjoying the game. Obviously, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's great to have the coaching and stuff like that, and I learned a lot. But I had no regrets to not go into that academy football until like 14 with goalkeeping, because I really enjoyed playing Saturday. I enjoyed playing for school. And I think I learned a lot from there, to be honest.
Okay, very good. So did you do a scholarship then at Walton?
No, I left Walton when I was, I think I had 2 years at Walton. I decided that wasn't the path for me, so I left just before I was think I was 15. Yeah, I went back to. I signed up for my local team again. I was like, decided I just wanted to play some football. I kind of fell out of the game a little bit. Didn't really enjoy it. I don't know whether it was the pressure or anything, and then I went on trial at basically Bury, Blackburn, Accrington, Barnsley. I was training 7 days a week. So I just literally went on trial in all these, and I got offered a scholar at Barnsley.
All right, very good. So even from being academy football, dropping out for a little bit, getting back into grassroots shows again that if you keep working hard, keep focused. I mean, even though you fell out of football for a little bit, you must have still kept that focus and desire to want to keep going. Because obviously, if you'd have taken your mind off that, you'd have dropped to the point where you couldn't have lifted your game up high enough. So you obviously must have still kept some focus.
Yeah, it was still my dream, and it was still everything, and I wanted it extremely, extremely bad, but the path I was on wasn't the right path. So it was a decision I had to take a step back, to take 2 steps forward. And I knew, I trusted my ability, that I would hopefully get into another club. But like I said, sometimes the path's not the right path, so you've got to get off it. You might have to take 1 step back to 2 steps forward, like I said.
Yeah, so press reset again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do think, especially with football, I think it's very easy to just get washed away and pulled along with what's happening, and you get settled and you just keep going where you're going, and you're listening to the coaches at the time. And like you said there, the coaches and the advice isn't always right for you. So everybody's different. Everybody works different. Coaches play different systems. And sometimes I think if you do get pulled down the wrong path, it can have a detrimental effect on you as well, can't it?
Yeah. Sometimes, like I said, there's negative about your team might go on a bad run. You might have a few bad performances or whatever, but you've got to just trust the process. You've got to see small-term goals and also big-term goals. At the end of the day, you see a lot of people, the keepers on TV, you have 2 or 3 bad games and everyone's saying, "Oh, a bad keeper now." No one becomes a bad keeper overnight. At the end of the day, it's a very difficult position. I'm sure you've all had man at match performances, and you've all probably let a goal in. You think, "Oh, I should have saved that." But at the end of the day, it's a game of football. You go out there to enjoy it, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you go out there every game and try your best and think, "I'm going to go out there and do my best." Then whatever happens. But like I said, if you have the right mindset and desire that you have that long-term goal, and that stays the same.
I mean, even the very young keepers, even the 6-year-olds, you don't need telling you've made a mistake. You know you've made a mistake, and there's no your time. You could have done better, and I think with a lot of things, there's a right way how you can approach, especially at the young age. You don't like we said, even at the top level, you've dropped one. You know you could have done better, and people telling you that you've made that mistake, they don't really know how sometimes it can impact you.
Yeah, I think also it depends on what's right for you. I bet there's plenty of dads listening and stuff like that, but I'm like very close to my dad. He's taken me to every game, never missed a game. I like talking through everything, so even from the age of 9, my dad used to go, "Oh, what do you think?" And I kind of analyse it. I feel that helps me. I know other keepers, other players, if they've had a bad game or even a good game, they don't really want to talk about it, and that's how they deal with it. But no, I'd always, from literally 9, 10, I'd speak to my dad and think, "Oh," and he'd go, "Oh, what do you think?" And the older I've got, he'll say, "Oh, you've gone past me now about technique and this, that, and the other." But I still, after every game, obviously lockdown, he's not being able to watch, but he's watching on TV. First thing I do is ring my dad and kind of analyse the game and think, "What do you think?" And yeah, that's how I like to do it. But like you said, you know yourself if you've made a mistake or if you've made a good save. But sometimes it's good to talk through it. Sometimes you don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think especially at the level that you're at now, that talking to someone like your dad who probably doesn't overanalyze stuff is probably it's a bit better as well, isn't it? Because you sit in that environment and you're talking about millimeters, centimeters, split seconds, whereas your dad's probably a little bit oblivious to that, not knowing that detail. And so it's just nice for someone just to look at you and just say, "No, I don't think you could have done much better with that," or "I think you could have thought a little bit quicker."
Yeah, I think you'll all learn that goalkeeping's special compared to outfield players. So like you'll have a game and it might be windy, it might be rainy, the pitch might be awful, and you might get one that hits into you and you parry it away and you think everyone else is going, "Oh, he spilt it," but you might go, "I'll tell you what, that's a really good save because the weather's really bad and I've got my body behind it." And at the end of the day, it might not look good, but you've been effective and you've made a save. And obviously for me, there's fans and everyone goes, oh, he's not really got a good punch on that one. But when you've got 10 players around you that are 6'6", sometimes you've just got to get a scruffy punch on it. So you will understand that as a goalkeeper, sometimes you're right, but you're not right. So like your managers might shout onto you and say, "Oh, why have you spilled that one?" Or "You need to get a better punch on it." But like, "Oh, I'll tell you what, I've done well there," because they don't understand how hard it is.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot with the students. Obviously, from the coaches and managers' point of view, they're watching the game from the side of the pitch, so it's a completely different view. So they don't see if the ball's dipped and swerved a little bit, it might have just looked like a straight shot to them. But obviously, we've seen it move, we've seen it dip, and we're looking at it from a completely different angle to what they are. So things do look different, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. So you've just got to, like I said, sometimes you've got to put your hand up and say, yeah, but underneath, you're right, and you've done like a good thing.
One of the things that used to upset me when I played is that if you'd had a game and you'd probably not had a lot of shots on target, but you were constantly kicking. So they might have had 20, 30 shots off target. So you were doing a goal kick all the time. And it's amazing how much the concentration takes out of you and how much doing goal kicks constantly takes out of you in a game as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I always go back to even when I was like 9 or 10, like even at like 9 or 10, I always say it's a game of basics. Obviously, it's good to make massive saves that look really good on camera, but if you do the basics right, and you kick well, you do the stuff that everybody expects you to do. Like you come off, everyone goes, "Oh, he's done all right," but they're the games and they're the things you need to do well. You might not get that many pats on the back, but like you said, you might have 30 goal kicks, and you've got to think that I've got to make 30 good goal kicks because you kick 3 out of play, everyone goes, "Oh, his kicking's not very good." But I've had them games this season where I've had a couple of kicks and I've kicked them out. But I think even me now, I'm 22. Every game I'm still learning, and I'm enjoying learning.
Yeah, I mean it can be 29 good kicks and 1 bad kick, can't it? You can have dropped them 29 kicks exactly where you wanted it to be, and then you do 1 bad kick, and then your distribution's terrible.
Yeah.
But that's the game. So we'll go back. So Barnsley then. So you did your scholarship at Barnsley. Yeah. Did you go on loan at Stalybridge?
Yeah, I went on. I got on the bench when I was 16 for 1 or 2 games, which was a good experience. Luckily, I was with the first team from when I first kind of signed at Barnes at 15, 16. I was training with the first team, so it was good to just get the pace of the ball so much different with the first team. It's just another tempo, so that really helped me. And then I broke my leg in training when I was 17. So I was a little bit of a setback. But you've got to turn a negative into a positive, really. And then, yeah, I went out on loan. I think I was 18, 19 to Stalybridge, which was an eye opener. It was good fun. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, it was playing against, like, I've gone from playing under 18s, which was, I don't want to say kids football, but it was still youth football, to then men.
And I think the under 18s is still development football, isn't it? It's still very much that you're trying to learn. It's not, you have got players with that desire, but I think once you go into men's football, they're a little bit more intelligent. They know they don't need to do the runs sometimes that they need to do. They'll leave the foot in, or they'll leave their elbow in, won't they? As being a young goalkeeper, when you're going up for set pieces or corners, they'll think young goalkeeper in the goal. I'm going to let him know he's there. And I think you get that a lot more in men's football than what you do at youth football.
Yeah, I think the thing is, youth football is about development. When you go there, it's about results. So at the end of the day, I went in the first game and we got beat 4-0. There was boots flying across the changing room and as you probably all heard, like Alex Ferguson, the hairdryer treatment. So everyone's shouting and this, that, and the other from the gaffer. So at the end of the day, it's in 18s football, people don't get sacked and stuff like that, but at that level they do. So you've got to perform. So there is that little bit of added pressure. And it's the first time I played in front of fans, so there's like probably 500-600 people there at the games. But yeah, leave the foot in. It was a bit rough sometimes, but no, I loved it. Really enjoyed it.
Good. So how old were you when you made your first team debut at Barnsley?
I just turned 20 the day before.
Very good.
Yeah, just turned 20.
So what? You're 22 now, aren't you?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So still very young. Still got a lot of your career in front of you, and obviously a better season this season for yourself, getting into the squad a lot more regular. So how does that feel to be more involved?
Decided to use it as a bit of a fitness camp, training camp. I went back home as soon as I heard it was going to be locked down. I went back home to my mum and dad's house. So I got my dad on the fitness regime. So we were out on the bike doing like 20-30 miles a day on the bike. Got my sister in the back garden because obviously the weather was good in the first lockdown. So we've got a little circuit going. So there's little challenges every day we had to do. So might be like 500 reps, so like pull-ups, burpees, stuff like that, skipping. So yeah, just trying to keep everyone like motivated, but I also, for myself, I got myself in the probably best shape I've ever been in. I was fittest I've ever been. So when we went back, probably 10 weeks later, I was flying in training. One of the keepers got a bit of a niggle, and then we played Sheffield United in a pre-season friendly before the season started again, and I got the nod. So played 10 games, and we stayed up at Brentford last kick of the game, which was a great feeling. And then just carried on playing this season. And then recently I just dropped back out of the team, but in football there is setbacks, and that's what happens really.
And it can be something minimal as well, can't it? It can be just getting a bit of a pull at the wrong time, and then the other keeper comes in and they have a few good games, and sometimes you've got to wait until they have a little bit of an injury for you to be able to get back in. It's like your internet or mine, Jack. You're back on.
Say that again. I think you froze.
Yeah, you're freezing on me, and we'll keep going. So yeah, just saying. Sometimes it can be minimal, can't it? That it can be just a little bit of a game where you just have a slight injury, which means you lose your shirt, and then you've got to wait. Sometimes you're wishing for the other goalkeeper to probably get a little bit of an injury so you can get back in.
Yeah, I'd never wish an injury on another keeper. At the end of the day, the team comes first. Doesn't really matter who's in there. We need to do well as a team, and at the end of the day, there's only one shirt, but when you've got that shirt, that other keeper supports you, travels every game, warms up properly, prepares like he's playing. So at the end of the day, if for any reason you're not in the team, you give that same respect, and you do everything right, and you support them, and you do everything they need to do well. And you just got to be patient then and hope for your next opportunity. But no, I would never wish a little niggle or anything on another keeper.
I think as well as a second choice keeper as well, you've got to prepare every week and train every week as though you are playing, because if you get that chance, you've got to prepare to take it, haven't you?
Yeah, you could get the nod in a warm up. They could get injured in the first minute, and you've got to play 90 minutes. So if you don't prepare properly, you will get caught out, and it'll only you will be that it'll affect.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your weekly training regime then?
So at the moment, because we've got so many games, we're literally playing Tuesday or Wednesday, then Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So a lot of the regime at the moment is really light, because all the other players obviously are really tired. So it's massive on recovery. So probably do, like today, the lads who played last night didn't train. They did a recovery session. They did yoga, and so the players who didn't play did a bit today, and then tomorrow it'll be light, and it'll be like match prep for the game on a Saturday. But if it was Saturday to Saturday, we normally get Sunday off, medium session Monday, Tuesday, probably a down day Wednesday, and then match prep Thursday, Friday for the game Saturday. So yeah, we maybe get one. If we had a busy schedule, I think we might get 2 days off, maybe a Sunday, Monday. But yes, normally 5-6 days.
Are you still doing double sessions, 2 sessions a day, or you're down to one?
It all depends on the gaffer, and obviously, I think, like I said, at the moment, because this season it's such a compact schedule, it's a bit hard for the players to do double sessions. But obviously, like for me, whilst I'm not playing, so like today, I'll go in 2 hours earlier than like we were in this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I was in at 12, did an extra bike, and I did an extra gym session for myself, just to top up what I think I need whilst I'm not playing.
Okay, that's very good, because that's one of the things I keep saying to the students about good keepers do extra, and the reason why they're good is because they are prepared to do that little bit extra. Like you said, when I worked with you, you was always the first out on the pitch. Sometimes I'd not even had a chance to set up, and you was already out there ready and ready to go. And like you've said there, you're prepared to go in 2 hours earlier just to do that extra work, just to try and make sure that you are being extra prepared?
Yeah, I think there's two things. I think I always go on about like standards. Like I said, it's nothing to do with football. It's about everything. I think anything you do, make sure you do it as well as you can, because you will learn something. You'll get something out of it. Like put standards. Don't be late for stuff. Make sure you're on time. And then the other one is just kind of work. Always do extra, but work smart. Don't. At the end of the day, I think a lot of it is always ask loads of questions. No matter what you do, if you ask questions, you'll learn. And if you learn, whatever you're doing extra, you'll be able to do better and get more out of. Because I see a lot of people, they'll go in the gym for an hour, but they won't really do much because they don't actually know what they're doing, because they haven't asked the questions. So they're not too sure on what they actually need to be better. Where if you ask, for example, you might want to do a bit of extra keeper practice with your dad on a Saturday or whenever you're not training. But if you ask, for example, Paul to say, can I get 2 drills to improve this? Your extra might only be 20 minutes, but that's working on what you're gonna improve and get something out of it. Where if you do, you might be on the grass for an hour, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're not actually gonna gain anything from it.
It's also giving your body a chance to recover, isn't it? So you talk about going into the gym, but if you're going into the gym and you're doing probably a big leg session, and you're doing it the day before the game, it's obviously going to affect your kicking because your body's not recovered in time. So like you say, it's asking the questions and making sure you're doing the right training at the right time to make sure that you're in peak performance when it gets to that game.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you've just said. Obviously, with us, we have people that manage us, but we have sports scientists and stuff like that say what we can do, when we can do, and what. But even then, I still do stuff off my own back, because now I have the knowledge for my gym. I have my knowledge for stuff to be able to do it myself, which is good.
Yeah, very good. So, what's your match day preparation then? So 3 o'clock kickoff. When do we start preparing? What do we start doing?
I think it's different between home and away, and obviously different managers. So the manager we've got now likes us to do like a little bit of training before the game. So we're in a bit earlier, do some light stuff, prep for the game. Then we have like a pre-match meal. So we always eat probably 3 hours before kickoff, so like an hour and a half before, or 2 hours before we go out for warm up. I always have the same pre-match. I have porridge and scrambled egg on toast. Don't ask me why. Just seems to work for me. But yeah, I think the preparation starts the night before. Really, just make sure for example, if I feel a bit tired, I'll stretch and stuff like that. Make sure I get like an early night. Water, stuff like that, just silly things.
Okay, very good. So, growing up then as a young goalkeeper, who was your favourite goalkeeper when you're growing up?
I think growing up, it's out in the area of like Van der Sar and Petr Cech. They were the two that in the Prem that were just excellent goalkeepers. They kept the ball out the net. They made some great saves. So yeah, and then obviously the further it's gone off now, it's like obviously Neuer took over in a different style of goalkeeping, and then said nowadays there's so many different goalkeepers with different styles.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So and do you think that the foreign input with the goalkeepers now are coming in with obviously the futsal backgrounds? Do you think that's influencing the game a lot?
Yeah, obviously now, like you said, teams want to play out and use your feet a lot more and become an extra player. I think it's good, but also I think first of all you've got to do the goalkeeping. Like a lot of teams and thingy now are sacrificing goalkeeping for people to play with their feet, which for me I think our first job is to keep the ball out the net and keep a clean sheet. I think obviously if you can play with your feet, great, and obviously we can, but you don't really, unless you're at the top level like Edison, like you see with the long passing, you don't really see a goalkeeper start a goal really, but you see him stop goals.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest challenge for the young keepers at the minute is obviously that when they're playing grassroots football, they've got lots of players around them with all similar abilities. And then the ones who get to go on trial at academy, straight away the jump's that big that the academies are focusing that much on being able to use the feet, playing the ball out of the back. And then they go back down again to the grassroots football. And there's just such a big gap between using the feet at that level at grassroots and academy level.
Yeah, like I said, I think just same as me. I think obviously it's something new. It's obviously only come into the game for the last 5-10 years, not even that 5 years, but it's just a thing you've got to learn.
Yeah,
really.
Well then, so we'll start opening it up for some questions then. So, anybody got any questions for Jack? If you have, just stick your hand up, and we'll just work through you. A few Barnsley shirts on tonight, which is good. Anyone got any questions? Oh, they're quiet.
Come on, you all can't be that shy.
You're quiet tonight, Jack. Yes, Freddie.
What is your motivation?
Oh, good question. I think two motivations. I'll go back to it. I'll keep telling you this. Motivation one is probably I always want to be the best I can be. I don't have, obviously, everyone can say, I want to play in the Champions League, I want to win the World Cup and this, that and the other. I just want to play as high as possible as I possibly can, and I just want to go out every day and do the best I can. And then my other motivation is probably my family. Like my mum and dad, they've watched me since I was like 8, 9, and they've stood in the freezing cold when it's training, and when it's raining, he's still there. So to give a bit back to them, really, just to say thank you for all the hard work they've put in, really.
Your dad's certainly done some miles, following you around everywhere.
Yeah, he's due a new car, I think.
Okay, great question, Freddie. Then we've got Seb. Seb, you've got a question, mate.
Why do you wear short sleeve shirts, and do you prefer them, or is it just a trend?
Good question again. To be fair, it's the first season the shirts are actually short sleeved. So normally goalkeepers for some reason are always long sleeved, but you've seen a lot of the Prem and stuff seeing the short sleeves. So yeah, this season we haven't really got an option. It's what's being given to us about short sleeve, but I just decide to put to be fair, I wear an Under Armour underneath, but I just wear a short sleeve Under Armour. I don't really have that much preference. Last season I had long sleeve, but I think the more I play in it, the short sleeve, I don't know, I just feel a bit, it's not as restrictive, so I just prefer it.
Thanks.
I think I think it was in the rules at one bit that the goalkeepers had to wear long sleeves for handballs and stuff like that, and it was Fabian Barthez, weren't it, who started wearing the short sleeves to start off with?
Yeah, it was Barthez and Casilla. They were the two that started wearing short sleeve and set the trend. So yeah, I think there's a few keepers that want to replicate Casilla. So yeah.
It just drives me batty when the kids are turning up in short sleeves in winter and they're freezing cold because they want to look like you.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that.
Okay, good. So then we've got Ryan. You
Stick for that same.
Ryan, go on, Ryan.
Who was your best manager that you've played for?
Oh, good question. To be honest, I can't really say I've got a favourite. They're all very different. They all have different styles in the terms of one-man management, to the way they style the team. I think because it's a goalkeeper and we don't really do as much training, because obviously it's a bit separate. It's a bit hard to say. I like it. It was very sharp and quick. So I'd probably say that just for his training, but I don't really have any preference.
A good question, Ryan. Yes, Jensen.
Who's the best goalkeeper you've played against?
Oh, to be fair, I think this season I played against Tim Krul. Obviously, he's played in World Cups, and the other one is probably Ben Foster. So yeah, the two obviously they're much older. They're coming to the end of the career rather than the beginning, and they just look so calm and composed, and like real leaders on the pitch, which was kind of great to watch, really.
So just showing that
Do
bit.
you watch his cycling GK?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you watch his cycling GK?
Yeah, to be fair, I watched a bit. I'm glad that they do something like that, because obviously it gives you a bit of insight. Like obviously I've come on today to speak, and obviously I'm doing the same things, but I still watch it to have an insight of what they do at Watford, and it's really good. I enjoy it, and I think football should do a lot more like that, to be honest.
Very good. Jaden Ironside. You're up next, mate.
Goalkeeper, do you have to?
Have a good speed. Well, if we did the speed test, let's just say I'd be bottom and last. However, you got to be quite quick over like 5 yards, 10 yards. If we do like a sprint test, it'll be 30 meters, which I'm never running 30 meters. So you just got to be really quick for the first short distance, just in case a ball comes over the top. You've got to sprint out, but only for the first 5-10 meters, which is more power rather than speed.
Thank you.
Well done, mate. Yes, Jack Ryan, you're up next.
Who's the hardest attackers to play against in Championship?
I think when we played Bournemouth, they had a couple of good ones. Solanke, Pookie at Norwich was good. I think Buendia, Tony's obviously top goal scorer, so he's tough. There's a lot out there. They've all got different styles, but no, there's quite a few. It's been some tough games this season.
Thank you.
Very good. Clayton, you're up next, mate.
Who's the hardest player that you've ever played against?
I'm not sure about hardest, but I think the one I always say to people, obviously I played against Derby this year, and obviously Rooney played. So I don't think you can get much better than Rooney, can you?
Thank you.
Good question, mate. Well done. Joel, you're up next, mate.
When you've got your head down, what makes your head go back up?
I think for me, like I said, there's always you're always going to have setbacks in everything in life. But I think you've got to think. I think two things. When something goes wrong or something goes bad, you think, well, it's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, every roller coaster, there's them uphills, but after every uphill, there's obviously the downhill and the fun bit. So when you are feeling a bit, I'm struggling or whatever, you might be on that uphill, but you've always got to think that roller coaster has eventually got to come down, and times will change. So just kind of, I think you've just got to stay focused and just believe in whatever you're doing. And at the end of the day, it will change, and at the end of the day, the good times will come back.
Thank you.
Very good. Kiana, you're up next.
What is the worst goal you've ever conceded?
Oh, I knew I'd get asked this question. Worst goal. Probably I made a mistake this year. Came for a cross at Stoke. Just misjudged it a little bit. I knew I was in trouble when I was chasing it, and I got a hand onto it, but I dropped it, and the striker tapped it in. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed after that one, but like I said, I'm sure we've all made mistakes in games.
We got good question. Put him on the spot there, Kiana. Joel, you're up next.
We've already done one.
You've done it, mate. All right, mate. No problem. Ryan, you're next.
What do you find best, and how do you personally motivate yourself before a game?
Sorry, say that again.
What do you find best works for you, and how do you personally motivate yourself before a game?
What works best for me? I think, like I said, sometimes you can put too much pressure on yourself. So if you go there and say, I have to do well, or I have to keep a clean sheet, straight away you're putting pressure on yourself. So I think my motivation, like I said, is to go and think, right, I'm going to go out there today and do the best I can do. If that's going to be a man of the match, great. If that's going to be an average performance, so be it. There's not really, at the end of the day, I've trusted that during the week I've done all the training and I've prepared right for the game. So whatever will be on the game day. So I try not to put too much pressure on myself. And then what motivates me, like I said, is to go out there, enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's a game of football. I've got to look back at this in 10, 20 years' time and say, yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've taken it in. And then after you reflect and think, how can I improve? How can I be better for the next game? And just think each game, think, how can I be a little bit better?
Very good.
Thank you.
Alfie, you're up next, mate. Alfie, husband.
How do you decide your starting position when the ball's in different areas of the pitch?
At the moment, very high. That's because the style of play we play at Barnsley is quite a high line, so we have to, because the gaffer wants us to play really high and for balls over the tops. So yeah, I think it depends on the way your team plays, but always be on your front foot and be ready really to always use your box. So you've got your penalty spot, your 6-yard box, your 18-yard box, or obviously whatever size pitch you play on. You've always got markings, so I always use them to help you to see how high you are. It's just so, and also where the goal is behind you. So you know the lines in front should help you know where the goal is behind you, because sometimes you don't have time to look away because the guy might be dribbling, but you need to get into position. So at the end of the day, use the tools you've got, so your penalty spot or the box, to get your angle without looking at the goal.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Alfie, I did send some pictures out last lockdown about the positioning stuff. So what I'll do tomorrow, I'll send them back out again for anybody who's not got them or forgot about them. And then you can have a little look at that, and you'll also be able to see what Jack's just explained then with a breakdown of the pictures for you. Is that okay? Yeah, good man. Harry, you're up next.
Who's the best and worst player you played with at Barnsley?
Best player. Been a couple, to be fair. Conor Hourihane was really good. Another very professional. There's no surprise he's gone and played in the Premier League. He was one of them who was first in. He was lost out. He was always doing extra on the training pitch, shooting, free kicks, improving. Worst? I don't really know, to be honest. I think obviously there's been plenty of players that have come and it's not really worked out for them, but I don't think I'd ever say there's been anyone really bad. I don't really look into negativity.
Good man.
What do you think of Ryan Kent when he played for Barnsley?
Yeah, obviously he's playing in Rangers now, and like I said, he's great ability. He always had really quick, good feet, and he had that quality that could change a game. But yeah, he was really good.
Good. Alfie Denton, you're up next, mate.
Who's your favourite goalkeeping coach and why?
Favourite goalkeeping coach? It's a bit of a boring answer, but I don't really have a favourite. I think I had Matt Murray for a bit. He was excellent. He was excellent with me on and off the pitch, and also Kev Pilkington, who I've got now, he's also very good. Helps you on and off the pitch. But I've had so many good ones. Mark Crosley, he was excellent. Vaughan, he was excellent. But I think the good thing is, it's like Paul said, not always everything works. The training styles don't always work for you. So luckily I've had 4 or 5 keeper coaches. So I've taken little bits off everyone. So there's some stuff a keeper coach will say, and I think, oh, that doesn't work for me. Even though, but then a different coach will tell you something else. So I think it's good just to take bits from each and think what works best for you, basically.
Thanks.
I think it's that again, that you're always learning, aren't you? And you can learn a little bit from each different keeper coach. So I mean, for me, when I was playing as well, I mean, I learned a lot, like you say, little bits from each different keeper coach, and then you can just put it into your own style and what works best for you.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you've got to try something new to realise whatever you're doing at the moment is good. So you might try a new technique and think, oh no, actually the style I've got now is working for me, so I'm not going to change it. So yeah.
So how important do you think the goalkeeper relationship is?
Yeah, massive. It's always your first guy you go to. It's always the person that basically does everything. Obviously, he does your training. It's who you speak to about your game, analyzes your game. So yeah, it's important to have a good relationship with them.
And I think it's such a specialist position as well, isn't it? That you'll find that the outfield coaches tend to be ex-outfield players, or they've studied the outfield game a lot more than what they have sort of the goalkeeper game. So it's good to actually speak to a goalkeeper coach who is a specialist in goalkeeping.
Yeah, a lot of obviously all like you said, are ex-goalkeepers, so they do understand. They understand the difficult nature, and like I said, the good thing is a good goalkeeper coach will also back you, because the gaffer might say, "Oh, why has the keeper done this?" and the keeper coach backs you up and everything. So
I think as well, yeah, I think the managers sometimes can be very critical from their knowledge of a goalkeeping, but then the goalkeeper coach can completely turn his opinion round by actually pointing to.
Anyway.
Okay, good. So just while we're waiting for Jack to come back then. All right, so I've took quite a lot from there already. I mean, I think one of the biggest problems that we've got at the minute with lockdown is it's a little bit like getting a setback. It's a little bit like getting an injury that's kept us out as a game for a bit. All right, and it's a little bit like probably dropping out of the team where you're not playing as much. So we look at the setbacks that Jack's had with his career, where he had a little bit out playing. He's had injuries, but he's still being able to come back and still get up to the position where he can be into. So, I mean, I know a few of you are a little bit upset and frustrated, like I am. I'm frustrated with lockdown that we can't get, but I think one of the good points that we can take from what Jack said at points is that this little setback that we've got, it's not going to take long for us to get back up to full strength again, just like we did last time. Just after the lockdown last time, 2-3 weeks back, weren't we? And then we're all back up, back into it, back up to full strength and back playing games. So that's good. So have we got a few more questions for him when we're coming back? Can we think of any more? Jack Bowman, have you got a question? You must have a question, Jack Bowman. He's back.
I'm back.
You're back. Any more questions? Yes, Harry. Little Harry. Harry Wade.
If you could play for a Premier League side, who would it be?
I think if I had any choice, it would have been Manchester United, because obviously a massive club and somewhere, obviously it's close to where I'm from, so yeah, it'd have to be United.
Thanks.
Not that Barnes is going to get there then, Jack.
Hey, don't rule anything out.
Okay, good. Any more questions? Seb?
What was Samuel Radlinger like as a keeper?
Yeah, interesting to learn off, really, because he was the first kind of foreign goalkeeper I've kind of trained with for a long period of time. So he had different techniques of doing stuff that I'd never seen, really. Of what obviously being coached in Austria. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit different. Like I said, no matter every time you train with someone, you kind of think, oh, how would you do that? I might try that, and you think, oh, that doesn't work for me, or that works for me. So it's a bit like the goalkeeping coaches. You learn from the keepers you train with, because some are really good at a certain thing, and that's how you pick it up, and that's how you learn.
Thanks.
Okay, very good. So I think that's about us for time, really. So Have we got any last few questions, and then we'll let Jack get on with his evening? Everybody happy with that? Yes, Freddie?
The next time we play Wednesday, can you let some goals in?
Obviously, there's a few Wednesday fans on here. Then is there? All I can say is, I think the Barnsley fans on here will be saying, I think we're at about 8 or 10 years that they'd never won at Hillsborough, so it's about time the Barnsley fans had a few cheers and stuff. So I'm sure you've won plenty in the past, but no, I think when we play Wednesday, we'll be hoping to do the double over you.
I think you can take from that, Jack. They need all help they can get.
There's got to be some Sheffield United fans on here as well, but I think they'll stay quiet, won't they?
They will, yeah. Just like me. Okay, good. Any more questions? No? Oh, good. So, brilliant, Jack. Thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it. Great to catch up with you again.
Obviously, I hope you all stay safe and your families, and like Paul said, you'll all be back in training and keep enjoying it. And hopefully we can all get back to playing football regularly, and I'm sure you'll all be looking forward to it.
I think everyone's chomping at the bit to get back going. Okay, so brilliant. Thanks for everyone joining us tonight. I will get that stuff fished out for the positioning for you, Alfie, and I'll send that all back out again tomorrow just for a little recap for the stuff that we did send out last lockdown. But big thanks again to Jack. Thanks for joining us, and I will see you all again next week. Cheers, Jack. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good Christmas.
Bye.
Yeah, press the red one.